Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will be discussing our exact strategy for economics and agriculture when it comes to GS3 of UPSC mains. So in today's video, let us first discuss about the exact approach, the sources and what are the answer writing tips you should keep in mind when it comes to economics in GS3. Before we go to the approach part, it is one thing that you should realize when it comes to any paper in UPSC means you need to do the previous year question ka analysis. Now what I mean by this PYQ analysis, firstly you should know what is the basic number of questions that are being asked from that particular subject every year. For example, when it comes to economics, there are 4 questions asked every year. Out of these 4 questions, every year you will get 2 10 markers and 2 15 markers for economics in UPSC means. Even the question number is fixed. Question number 1 and question number 2. Similarly, question number 11 and question number 12 of UPSC GS3 paper are always of economics. So always keep in mind, before you do any subject, go through the previous year questions, both of prelims as well as mains of that particular subject. Now the first thing to do is understand the approach that we need to follow for this subject, that is economics. So when it comes to approach for economics, now we all know that economics as a subject is included both in your prelims as well as mains. When it comes to prelims, the weightage of economics is around 18 to 20 questions every year. When it comes to mains, as I told, the approach, the weightage for economics in mains is of around 50 marks every year. But a major mistake that a lot of people do is whatever they have prepared for prelims, they use the same thing for mains. Now this is a very huge blunder to make, because there is some basic difference when it comes to economics for prelims and economics for mains. The first and foremost basic difference when it comes to economics questions in prelims and mains is that the questions in prelims are more conceptual. That is, for example, let us take up the topic of unemployment. A question in prelims would be what are various types of unemployment, right? But when it comes to mains, the questions are issue based. That is, conceptual knowledge is just the base of your mains preparation. You need to do the whole of issue of a particular topic or a particular theme in detail. For example, when it comes to unemployment as a theme for mains, you should not just know what is unemployment, but also you should be knowing the exact data related to it, various types that we will be doing in our prelims preparation. Similarly, what is the methodology that government uses to calculate, what are the issues with respect to this methodology, then what is the cause of unemployment, what are the various initiatives taken by government, and lastly, what is the way forward. So in short, you are covering the whole topic, various dimension of the topic, the various dimension of the issues, and also including the current affairs part of it. When it comes to question with respect to economics in prelims, majorly questions are static. Out of the 18 to 20 questions that you get, you will get around 70 to 80% that are static in nature. Now this might be a very unpopular opinion, but I believe if you have good hold over static, your preparation for economics for prelims is more or less done. But when it comes to mains, the questions in economics are dynamic. That is, you do not just know the static concept, but also relate it to what is happening in the current economic scenario. For example, the question on unemployment that was asked in 2022 means it was related to the methods on which unemployment is calculated and what are the issues with respect to this method. So automatically, if you are changing your approach for prelims and mains and preparing the economics ka themes, the economics ka issues as issue based approach, following the issue based approach, automatically you will see you are able to solve and address majority of the questions that are asked by UPSC when it comes to mains. So the first and foremost thing to do for economics is build good conceptual clarity through the basic books, because unless and until you have good conceptual clarity, you won't be able to write good answers, you won't be able to understand the issue, understand the causes of the issue, and as well as suggest some good way forward or analyze it, link it with other concepts. So the basic thing to do is having good conceptual clarity. Now after you have good conceptual clarity for prelims, the next thing to do in order to prepare these issues is to analyze PYQs, recognize the repeated issues or themes. For example, this is the syllabus given by UPSC. This is the syllabus of economics and agriculture. If you see, you will see that there are certain themes that are given in the syllabus itself, which are asked repetitively. For example, this inclusive growth as a theme. If you see the previous year question analysis that is done, you can get a hold of what are the various themes or dimensions of inclusive growth as a theme that is asked by UPSC. For example, there was a question on challenges for inclusive growth, then there was a question on salient features of inclusive growth, then there was a question of strategy of inclusive growth, then intergenerational as well as intragenerational parity, then there was a question on what are the is inclusive growth possible under market economy. So after going through the previous year questions, after going through the syllabus, recognize the repeated issues, repeated themes, and prepare your notes by recognizing the various dimension that on which UPSC has asked question. Now this subject wise or theme wise segregation of previous year questions is done by Captain Jack Sparrow, and it has been shared on his own Telegram channel. You can get hold of this PDF that is freely available there. This is a good segregation. I will also share the link for this previous year question segregation in the description box. So once you recognize the themes, recognize the issues that need to be prepared, the next thing to do for economics is to prepare the notes. Now, what are the things that you need to include in your notes is firstly the basic issue or the theme on which you will be preparing note, then the various dimensions on that have been asked by UPSC, the questions, the dimension opened up by UPSC on that particular theme, on that particular issue through the previous year questions, and lastly value addition. For example, let us pick up MSME as a theme. Now we all know MSME as a theme is very much important. So suppose you have to prepare your one pager notes for MSME. What are the things that you will be including in those notes? First and foremost is the definition. So you will have the table of MSME definition given by ministry. So basic thing, definition. What is the contribution of MSME to various aspects of Indian economy, be it its GDP, be it its GVA, export, manufacturing. All these things you will be including the contribution of MSME. What is the need of MSME for Indian economy? What is the scope of MSME when it comes to Indian economy? What is the current scenario? What is the total number of MSMEs? What are the total employment generated by MSME? How many firms are micro? How many are medium? How many are small? All the current scenario of MSME. What are the benefit of MSME as a sector? Now this benefits, you can use stakeholder approach to generate points. So what is the benefit for Indian economy? What is the benefit for manufacturing sector? What is the benefit for society as large, be it with respect to employment generation, be it with respect to utilization of local resources? So all the benefits of MSME as a sector. Then what are the challenges or issues faced by MSME? Be it now here you get to write many keywords, be it the Peter Pan syndrome, be it the missing middle syndrome, be it the dwarfism or Chakraview challenge, twin balance sheet challenge, all the challenges that are being faced by MSME. Then way forward, various committees, various recommendations, and what are the solution to the challenges that are being faced by MSME. And lastly, the various case studies, be it Bihar's model of district hub for MSME or Telangana's model of T hub. So such case studies or best practices which can be quoted in way forward. So try to prepare such notes. The first the first and foremost thing to do for economics is to build conceptual clarity. Once you have conceptual clarity, this part majorly is done through your prelims preparation. Once you have the conceptual clarity, you shift to recognizing the themes on which you need to prepare notes. Once you recognize these themes, you need to go on to note making, and while making these notes, you should have a good idea about the issue or the theme at hand, what all dimensions have been asked in the previous year questions, and good amount of value addition in your notes. Now when you have such notes ready on all the themes that are mentioned either in the syllabus or have been asked in previous year questions, automatically you will see that you are able to write answers. So in short, these notes are nothing but your sort of answers only, but these are answers, model answers. So your notes, you should prepare your notes such that you feel as if they are your model answers. So after you're done with your note making, the next part is answer writing. But before that, a lot of people must be confused with respect to where to prepare these notes from. Now, the sources for your preparation for economics, when it comes to the sources, the first step, like we said, is the basic understanding or conceptual clarity. For that, you have a lot of sources, be it Sriram Sir's book or Vivek Singh Sir's books or Nitin Singhania Sir's book. any one of them is more than enough. Through these books you can automatically develop a good conceptual clarity, develop basic understanding with respect to the subject. Now once you are done with the conceptual clarity part, you go on to issue based note or theme based note. Now while doing this, apart from your basic understanding from any one of this book, you need to complement it with some value added consolidated notes that are available in market. With respect to such notes, only IS Prahar is a very good source, or vision value added material is a very good source. So any one of them source, any one of these two sources you can use and prepare your one pager notes like we discussed here, covering all the dimensions of the topic. So automatically your task of preparing notes becomes easy. Now once you are preparing such issue based note, you also need to add incorporate value addition. Now this value addition includes all the data, all the committees, all the keywords, all the best practices. Now the best source to collect everything, all the value addition part when it comes to economics particularly, is QVP notes by MK Yadav sir or Dipin sir's current affairs notes. Both these sources will give you very rich value added material. So use them and include all this value addition in your issue based note so that your notes become consolidated and you do not have to refer to different notes, one note for basic understanding, one note for preparing the theme, and then other note for value addition. No, this is not how you prepare notes. You prepare the note theme wise, that is each and every dimension related to the theme is included in one particular note, so that once you go through that note, you need not go through anything else. So keep this in mind. Follow the 3-step approach of conceptual clarity. First step is conceptual clarity, then preparing, then recognizing the themes and repeated issues on which UPSC asks question, then going on to the note making using these sources that are discussed. So after you are done with the note making part comes the answer writing part. So when it comes to economics or GS3 in general, one thing to keep in mind is you need to have objectivity in your answers rather than subjectivity. Now how to incorporate this objectivity? When it comes to bringing in objectivity, you need to add keywords over words, like I discussed in the previous video of the overall strategy to GS3. A lot of people do this mistake of just writing verbose English when it comes to their answers in GS3. No, when it comes to GS3 is a very objective paper. So keep it objective, write very short and crisp points that are having good amount of value addition through substantiation. Now this substantiation can happen through example, this can happen through data, this can happen through report or some committee recommendation. So make sure that at least 60% of your points have some substantiation, and this substantiation won't come unless and until you have such issue based, theme based notes ready. So once you have these notes ready, automatically if a question is coming on that theme, you will be able to write the answers objectively, you will be able to incorporate the keywords, and you will be able to substantiate them using all the value addition. Now the basic value addition notes that that you guys can follow have been shared on the Telegram group. I will share them once again in the description box. Make sure that you use them as your base value addition notes and add on things as they develop in current affairs. Now after basics of answer writing, the third thing, and I believe one of the most important things when it comes to economics answer writing, is prioritization of points. Now this is something that I had discussed in the previous video also, but I could not explain it in detail there. So a issue that I have seen in my journey of mentoring a lot of people is that they do not prioritize their points while writing answers, be it of economics or any agriculture. For example, suppose there is a question on inclusive growth. What are the factors responsible for inclusive growth? People will end up writing the factors of society that we read in the topic of society initially, and then economic factors later on. This is a very wrong approach. Once you do this, the examiner feels that you do not know the core basic economic reasons for growth of inclusive growth in India, and ultimately he will penalize you. So the best way to prioritize your points is that you recognize the subject or the topic from which the question or the point of syllabus on which the question is based, and write the subject specific points first. For example, in the question on what are the factors that are leading to inclusive growth in India, you write the very economic factors like be it V-shaped recovery, okay, then inclusive policies of government with respect to financial inclusion, be it Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So all the economic factors first, and then go on to women empowerment, then reduction in caste-based occupational linkages, all these society-related factors later on. So once you do the prioritization, automatically your answer will start looking specific, and you will end up getting good marks. And then the last thing to do when it comes to answer writing is work on your presentation. So as mentioned in the previous video, when it comes to economics, a mistake that a lot of people do is they do not write examiner friendly answers. Now, to make your answer examiner friendly, I would recommend everyone to add graphs. For example, see the point that I mentioned in the previous, while discussing the previous topic of inclusive growth of V-shaped recovery, rather than just writing the keyword of V-shaped recovery, you also draw the graph showing V-shaped recovery, that is India's economic growth, something like this. So India's economic growth was at 4%, it went up to 6%. During COVID, it came down to up to -5%, currently at around again 4%, and then again rising to 6%. So this is showing the V-shaped recovery of Indian economy. So this will make your presentation much more examiner friendly, and automatically the examiner will give you that extra half mark, 1 mark, that makes the difference. So when it comes to presentation, make sure you are drawing graphs, make sure you are writing keywords. Now the last part is of what to do. So as discussed in the approach, prepare these one pager theme based notes and do PYQ brainstorming. So while preparing the notes, you will be anyways doing PYQ analysis to recognize the themes. Once you complete a particular theme, automatically pick up a couple of PYQs of that theme and at least do brainstorming, even if you do not get time to write answers. So once you are done with this economics part, you need to go on to the agriculture part. So again, the approach for agriculture is same. Recognizing the issues or themes that are repeated by UPSC. For example, if you look at the syllabus of agriculture, you will see that there are a few issues or themes on which there are questions every year. For example, food processing industry, that is mentioned in syllabus, is a favorite topic of UPSC. PDS is a favorite topic. Land reforms is a favorite topic. So make sure that you are preparing such a list of issues and then prepare notes. Now for agriculture, notes for agriculture, I have already prepared the notes for agriculture and I have shared them on the group already. For example, these are the notes prepared by me for agriculture. You can use these notes directly, and again do some value addition as an how the current affairs thing evolve. For example, this topic of farm subsidies and MSME, you will get each and every subtopic or sub theme. For example, what are agricultural subsidies, then what is direct subsidy, what are the advantages of direct subsidy, what are the disadvantages of direct subsidy, indirect subsidies, their advantages, their disadvantages, then what are the issues related to agricultural subsidy, then way forward, which also includes some best practices, some committee recommendation, then agricultural pricing policy, what is the policy, what is MSP, okay, then aim of MSP, need of MSP, factors that are considered while preparing MSP, issues with respect to MSP, and the way forward, and recommendation by committee, and a good conclusion. So ultimately, once you go through these notes, if there's any question coming on MSP, you have everything ready right from introduction to the body parts to the way forward and a committee and a conclusion. So automatically your answer will stand out and you will require very less time to write an above average answer. So make sure that you are preparing such notes. Now you can use the notes that are shared on Telegram group as your base notes and add value to them through the things happening in current affairs. So, and lastly, when it comes to value addition for agriculture part, you need to do value addition in the form of, again, datas, committees, best practices, and one thing that a lot of people miss out on is schematics. Now what I mean by schematics is, if there is a question on suppose food processing industry or integrated farming system, you draw a small schematic showing either the whole supply chain of food processing industry, be it the upstream and downstream linkages, or if there is a question on integrated farming system, you show all the elements of integrated farming system in a schematic and show how each and everything is feeding into other thing and leading to a sustainable agricultural practice. So automatically this is something that will stand out. So draw such schematics, draw such vicious cycles, draw such virtuous cycles when it comes to your agriculture and economics answers in GS3. So this is something that I wanted to discuss with respect to economics and agriculture. In the next video, I will be discussing the similar approach for internal security, disaster management, and post that we will have a video with respect to GS4 and how I increased my score in GS4 by 30 marks. So stay tuned and make sure that you subscribe for more such guidance with respect to how to increase your marks with respect to GS means. Thank you.